the return of Rob here in Venice in particular and in Italy, because I know that Rob has also Italian roots. So this is my first question or idea. Thank you.
Eternal return is a moment arrives, and for every individual, but I think for an artist, when the moment arrives in the form of a void, and the creative act, which traditionally I believe is a vision. I mean, some artists have visions, others don't. I feel fortunate that visions explode in my mind. So that moment arrives, the vision explodes, and that is a form of infinity. Because I do each one of these pictures in this exhibition literally in a moment, because I work exclusively from things that I see in my head. Now I realize that they're derived from physical reality, but they come to me whole. And then I see them, I embrace them, and then I'll carefully execute them over days and months. But the vision is a journey into time. Now, my life, my company is called No Room for Doubt. Doubt is an interesting concept because doubt is the unknown. And when you embrace the unknown, anything can happen because you're dismissing the demands of reality, which are this chair, that ceiling, this wall, and you have a visionary reality which is ethereal, and it exists in infinite time. So no room for doubt means physical reality, I have to create it. But doubt is essential to vision because you're giving up reality. There is no certainty. And the thing about this entrance into infinity is that it's elliptical. And after the end of the ellipse, you come back to that same moment that you have the vision. And so like this picture, I saw this painting all at once, even though it took me a month and a half to make. It seemed like it was just...
You use the word like journey, like in Italian we call it il viaggio. And when we speak about the return, of course, reminds me the journey, in a way. And return makes us think about the journey, and it's il suo mito, il mito dell'eterno ritorno by Nietzsche, nella cultura ovviamente occidentale. So the journey and its myths all declared with, in Latin is illo tempore. So in English would be that time with the capital letter of that. Myths can be defined as a shared dream, and like this, myth is also expressed through images. Rob's case that these images take shape in the area of fantastic and in more, like for example that one, more materic dimension. So it's like physical dimension, not only images like flat images, but the material with many different levels of dimension. Rob is like it's like the Ferrari car waiting for starting the ride, because I saw him, it was like that, please go.
Well,
but how much of life is an illusion?
I, as a boy growing up, I, I was prone to imagining things that didn't exist, okay? And then reaching later teenage years, that imagination, it just came out on the canvas. I, I read where Jackson Pollock would sit and stare at a blank canvas for a number of days and then explode into it. His explosion was physical. It was, I honestly, I sit and I look at that blank canvas, or it sits and I walk by it and I see it. I have sat in front of a picture for a month without doing anything. And I see it in a moment and then I explode into it. I want to give the audience something in the rectangle that they do not possess themselves. I want to give them a place to go. I have watched the audience eyes when they come to my gallery in New York, and they have a hunger, a need, and I want to feed that need with something, you know? And so to do that, a primary element is movement. Okay, so this man, he's floating and he's moving. This man is slightly more contemplative, but he's reaching and he's holding and he's leaning. But every picture in here has movement, except for this one.
So it's pretty interesting the assumptions that they make. For example, yesterday at the talk with Martin, we talked about the assumptions that the audience make about the artist from the art, or maybe if, for a writer from their books. And it's pretty interesting also regarding the link with Italy, is that most people think that you're Italian. They ask me that.
Oh.
They ask me, where is he from? And they they assume that they're just, where is he from? And they assume that you are, like, I would say someplace from Italy, and I would reply, United States. I was born in Chicago, and I was like, oh really? A lot of surprised faces. So I think it's a nice assumption.
Yeah, it is. I'm pleased.
I think it's interesting because also it's like when you are when you have an empty mind, you can project, you can fantasize something.
Yes.
Much more, of course. If you know that Rob is in New York, is a filmmaker, you know everything about him. It's difficult to say, I know the origin of that artist, of this artist. But if you don't know, you are much more free to think and to dream about the art and to dream about the man. So, and to think what you said, Altea, is interesting because it reminded me something like what we said at the beginning, the return. So with the return of the unconscious images. So you cannot lead your images, but your images can lead you in a way and to make you to draw a journey. And the journey is through your artworks. And people that they don't know you maybe very well because they are crossing here, walking here, and they say, I have the smell of these images from Italy in a way, but I cannot recognize really which part of Italy.
Exactly, that's what they ask me.
Which part of Italy? Because it's like a mix, because it's an imaginary feeling, no? But it's real in the meantime.
Well, I perceive myself as being an American imagination, but an Italian capability, a classic know-how. Because as I evolved, I thought many of the devices of contemporary art were shallow. You know, in the 60s and 70s, it was all happening, but I wanted, it was a classicism that attracted me, and I sort of unconsciously learned from. I was always using those classic devices to paint my vision. The vision was the imagination, But even my vision is derived from a few friends. Nietzsche, Federico Fellini,
Well,
Baudelaire,
well,
uh, Nietzsche, he says, dismiss systematized thought. Do not think the same. Do not, because rationality wants to train you like a dog, like a horse. But no, I resist that. I want to be new when I get out of bed in the morning. I turn my back on yesterday. I have a question again about emotion.
oh yes, but what I want just to make more precise is so it's not longer a cyclical time that merely repeats itself, but is transformed into an activatable sensory and associative matrix that refers to new ulteriorities. We call in Italian ulteriorità. It's difficult also in Italian to explain this word, but ulteriorities, I think, and sees this desire as a never fired and participating drive. So what I am trying to say is the desire, like the drive, and the core of this sensory and associative matrix. So in this sensory and associative matrix is like the repressed or the unconscious, but very, very powerful.
Mm.
It's much more clear now, no?
I think the key word is desire.
Desire, of course.
Because for me, desire makes it all happen. I think a woman's emotion is far more diverse and interesting than a man's. But I think, speaking for myself, my emotion is like so powerful. Anything, you see the forms, not the figure.
Okay.
But a few moments you see both. And I don't know what's happening to me. I'm a little bit afraid because I only want love. And, in the paintings, I only want to see the male and female form simplified. And when I vary off that, I say no.
Yeah. And also you put together problems, the masculine, the feminine, no? To like a powerful moment of the encounter.
Even this man, who's a predecessor to those two, is simplifying, and there is completely simplified. And I saw Michelangelo in Florence, and I saw the Medici Capella, and I saw those same forms. I looked at his sculptures, and I only saw the simple forms.
Yeah.
So,
that's so many topics. Victoria, do you have
It's a
something?
kind of simplification of the human form, like you try to go to the Jews to the very, the very center of the concept. And maybe it's also interesting the fact that, as people have said that maybe they were wondering if Martin was actually a woman, you are trying to put together your man part and your woman part, because everyone has like both a man's side and a woman's side, and maybe this is your way to express it.
is this the repressed that you're? No, seriously.
No,
I think it's different because the press is like our core of that we can join or not, only in particular situations.
As Victoria said, like to reach the core or the essential
Yeah.
part.
Bravo.
Yeah, that was excellent.
And that's also very interesting the way once you see the very concept, you can just unsee it.
You can't unsee it.
I work strictly with Martin, so I'm not here in the gallery, but people has told me that they are super moved by the fact that they don't understand that they are two people actually in a face. But once they see it, they just can't unsee that. So maybe sometimes the explanation is important.
I have to be careful because I want that duality.
You want it.
I want it.
It's beautiful, but I don't see a woman creating this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although it's about man and woman. Right? Do you
No,
see
no,
that?
no. Yeah. It was more about the process
Yeah.
than the outcome.
Right,
Kind of
right.
I feel.
But still, I think the audience and people can't help to make assumptions, as we said
Right.
before.
No,
Prejudice.
they crave for
Bases, their own
explanation.
bases.
Exactly.
Even for this one, I love to see the look at their face when they know the story behind.
Right.
Yeah, because both of you say that you want your pieces to speak for you, and that's totally right. But sometimes people, I see them craving for explanation because they want to know you.
But sometimes it's fun to look at art and just figure out what was the artist thinking of it.
I had a conversation with Bob Dylan,
Okay,
Okay.
amazing.
and he said a few things to me which I didn't expect to have lasting impact, but they did. He said two things. He said that when you're working on a piece of art and you get the essence, get out. Stop. Remove yourself.
With the passion of love,
Mhm.
told before, in the age always of something. So very like the Adriana rope, Adriana thread. No? To do
I
something.
feel this is being lost in society. It's really kind of sad.
Well, what's on the surface is
Yeah,
not
very,
necessarily.
nobody thinks anymore.
Look at what you were saying about the importance of doubt.
Yeah.
Now, doubt accumulates.
Yeah.
Okay? And I think it accumulates around the edges, and doubt comes from the rational mind, causing you to evaluate and balance and question yourself.
Yeah.
And so those concerns they develop. But Helen, what you were saying about power,
Yeah.
okay, is fueled by desire.
Yeah.
The power removes those doubts.
Yeah.
Which allows the stream to be stronger. Now, to work powerfully, for me, the desire is the fundamental component.
Yeah.
The physical energy is vital. I mean, all my work is physical.
Yeah.
I build my own stretchers. I do everything myself. Nobody touches my work.
Yeah.
And it feeds energy back to me. But you know, your physical body, it exists in this world. It holds the paintbrush and holds the carving tool. You know, so you have to be physically fit.